Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Emirates and happy St. Patrick's Day. It's good to see that quite a few people here are drinking the Guinness, which is the whole point of it. I'll be on water till we've finished. My name is Roger McKerlie. I'm the Managing Director and founder of the Sport Business Network. And firstly, I'd like to thank you all very, very much for coming here tonight. It's great to see so many people. Welcome to the Emirates. What a fantastic stadium this is. For those of you who are not Arsenal fans, I guess that we can only look on this in awe and imagine what it'd be like to be a fan at this place. What I have noticed, having been here several times as an away fan, there is more atmosphere in this room tonight than there is out there on the Saturday. No, listen, we mustn't be cruel to the Gooners. They've had a very, very tough 2 weeks. It hit a low point when they drew 0-0 with my team, Sunderland. Oh yeah, they did something in Champions League as well. Now listen, that was just ridiculous, the Van Persie thing. So I expect all the Tottenham fans who are here tonight, and there are some, to retain a dignified silence, even though you've got the bragging rights on the European stuff at the moment. Who'd have ever thought that? But don't get overconfident, it won't last. And you know fine well that you'll be back to where you came from. I say that as a Sunderland fan, what do I know? Enough of the bitter North London rivalry. What we're here to do tonight is to celebrate people coming together and not being opposed factions and disliking each other. And the whole point of what we're trying to achieve is to bring business and sport together under one roof and to unite them together. It's great to see so many of our existing members who have travelled up from Kent and Sussex, and I thank them very much for that. There'll be no sales pitch from me from that point of view, you'll be pleased to know. And also I do suspect if I tried to give a sales pitch, I'd get a whole bunch of rotten tomatoes thrown at me, because I suspect quite a few of them have been on the Guinness all day. And you can see the ones who are existing members, they're the ones with the glassy eyes and the faraway look, and they're not used to being in London. So we have to be kind to them. The Sport Business Network is approaching 2 years now, 2 years old, and we're delighted that A, we're still here, and B, that we're prospering and moving into London itself. It seems to have captured people's imagination. And as I say, I'm not going to go into a whole rigmarole about why people should be involved in it. Suffice to say that we looked around when we were setting the network up to find, I went to lots of other networking groups, and there's some great organisations out there. But it struck me that one thing was missing, and that was a common bond and a reason for people to be in a network together, other than the obvious of trying to do business together. So we looked long and hard about what the connector would be, and the connector in our particular case is sport. And my own personal journey with sport and where it came to mean something to me in business was when I met the Charlton Athletic Community Trust about 4 years ago. And in true spirit of partnership, none of them came tonight. So I obviously had a huge impact on them. But I knew nothing about community sport in terms of it being organised and run by separate entities to the football club in this particular case. So for 2 weeks I went on literally a physical journey with those guys. And they took me into prisons, tried to leave me there, but I managed to get out. They took me into young offenders institutes. I went in to see failing schools in some really tough parts of southeast London, and I saw their Estates League programme, and it just blew me away. It was my kind of road to Damascus moment in my own career. And as time went by, I got to know Charlton and a whole bunch of other organisations, many of whom are here in this room tonight, who deliver sport into communities, and they reach into communities and have a power and an impact on the young people, particularly in those areas that no other agencies can get anywhere near to. Many of them don't have parents who actually give much of a monkeys about them, but the police, the health authorities, the schools, they have no resonance compared to what goes on with a lot of the work of community sports clubs. And I was blown away by this, and I said to them, well, I presume, naively, Charlton were in the Premiership still at the time, and I said to them, I presume you get a whole bag of money from the football club. And there'll be a couple of people here tonight that are from football clubs who'll be sniggering away at themselves and saying, as if. And they don't. They don't get anything from the football club. Most of the money they got was drawn down through public sector. And that revenue is tightening up. So I said to them, well, look, where's the role for the business community should be involved in this? And that was basically something that they'd not really thought of, to be fair, or didn't really know how to engage with the business community. And research showed me that the business community didn't really understand what the opportunities were in community sport, and they are massive, absolutely massive. So hence the SPN was born really with a kind of self-styled and self-created goal of being the voice, in many cases, of community sport to people like yourselves, the business community. And there's a lot of people in the room tonight that as I say, that are from the world of sport broadly or directly. But also it was important for us to make sure that the business community understood what the opportunities were. So we became partly the voice of it. And I'm delighted to say that tonight we've got Quen Goiter from Laureus, who we'll be talking to later on. Quen's over there. Just a quick wave from Quen. Laureus, well, she can tell you what Laureus do, but they are a magnificent organisation. They raise shed loads of money for some fantastic projects around the world. And I met them and was again blown away by what they did. So I thought, we're on a big stage here. We're in the Emirates, we're in London, let's have the biggest. So I'm delighted to say that Quen will be talking a little later on about what Laureus do. Now, it can't all be dullness and seriousness and tree-hugging kind of earnestness attached to this. So there has to be some fun. And my fun was last summer. I got an invitation from one of Quen's colleagues, Ned, who very kindly invited my wife and I to join them for Martina Navratilova's PR launch of her climb of Kilimanjaro in some swanky West End hotel. So we dutifully turned up, got out of the taxi, red carpet, paparazzi cameras pointing downwards, I hasten to add, and having no interest. And as I walked towards this rather efficient person on the door with a clipboard, Catherine, my wife, said to me, and she obviously knows me too well, "You haven't blagged this, have you? We're not going to get turned away." I said, "Of course not." She put doubt into my mind. And as we approached, my heart was pounding, because I just thought, this will be a very, very bad low point if we get turned away at the door of some swanky Mayfair hotel as the great and the good go past us. And of course, the lady said, "Mr. McKerlie, Mrs. McKerlie, come this way." And my chest filled out, my head went back, and I looked at her and said to her, "Never have any doubt." I had a lot of doubt. We went into this room, and there they were, the great and the good from the sports world. Over there was Jimmy Connors. Over in the corner there was the woman herself, Martina Navratilova. Standing too close to my wife with her tongue hanging out was Daley Thompson. Boy, does he still look good. And a pair of shorts as well. Everybody else is dressed up, and Daley's in shorts and flip-flops and being cool as you like. Hated him. Vijay Amritraj. And a whole bunch of other people that were all there to celebrate what Martina was going to do. And obviously there was some chaps walking around offering champagne. And I needed a couple of them just to calm my nerves from the getting in the first place. So I had a couple of glasses of champagne, and fortified by that, I turned round, and there in front of me was Sir Bobby Charlton, the man himself. And I said to Catherine, "I've got to go and talk to him." And she kind of, "Dare you?" "Okay, I dare." So I went up to Bobby Charlton, tapped him on the shoulder, and said, "Hello, Bobby. My name's Roger McKerlie. I just wanted to shake your hand and say hello to you." And then, as they say in the theatrical world, I corpsed. Could not think of a word to say to him. And stood there going, And for some reason, my brother, who lives in Australia, who very rarely comes into my mind, came into my mind. And I said to him, "Bobby, my brother who lives in Australia would be so jealous of me meeting you." That's not exactly true. I mean, he thinks he's a great footballer. He's no great Bobby Charlton fan. But that's all I could think to say. And bless him, he took over the whole conversation and told me a great story about when United went on tour and meeting people who'd sent them food parcels and sweets when they were kids to the northeast, which sounds much more dubious than it actually is. And I came away from that evening clearly flushed with a few glasses of champagne, but feeling great about life. And I thought to myself, I'm inspired, I'm excited, and I'm really, really thrilled to be working in this business. And it just motivates you. And that's what we want to bring with the SBN. It's not necessarily about meeting Bobby Charlton, because it probably won't happen. I don't think, anyway, unless we pay a lot of money. And that's something we talk about later. But it's about how sport can motivate you to actually work closer together and form new relationships. And I walked away from there thinking, brilliant, this is absolutely brilliant. Now, one final thing I just want to say is one of the key component parts of any sport is team. And I need to offer a huge debt of thanks to my team, the people on the front who are probably still out there, Catherine, Martine and Sal, who hopefully greeted you with a lovely smile and huge efficiency. And inside, somewhere in here, we have Sarah and Karen. Where are you guys? Karen's hiding at the back over that way, and Sarah, that was Sarah. There, yeah, that clank, that was Sarah. They've done all the work for this. They've been absolutely outstanding. They're great colleagues to work with. It's a pleasure to be with them, and it wouldn't have happened without them tonight. So that's all I'm going to say. You can relax, enjoy, have a few more drinks. I'll introduce Quen to you again a little later on, and just make sure that you swap business cards with people. Follow up, don't do any heavy sales. We don't need any of that sort of stuff. It's about forming relationships, and let sport kind of be the vehicle that takes you on. So I hope you have a great night, and once again, thanks very much for coming, and I'll just touch base with you later. Thanks very much, guys. Thank you.